Hey guys, what's going on? BMcG here, and today we have a showcase on my rank 5 Atuma. This guy's kind of a beast. The main reason why I ranked him up is for Battlegrounds defense, but I genuinely think that this dude is going to be one of the most valuable skill champs going forward, solely due to his unique abilities, if that makes any sense. I'll explain a bit more later in this video, and it was kind of hard for me to find stuff for him to completely shine in, but we're gonna start this video out in Rumble Legends against Captain Marvel. So back to why I ranked this guy up. Primarily Battlegrounds defense. This dude is the new defender on the block, and he's a beast, and he's really good. If you don't use a proper counter to him, he will chip away health from the opponent. And that is insanely valuable in Battlegrounds because it allows you to buy yourself time in a matchup that you think might not be ideal. Obviously, champs like Juggernaut, Hulkling, those kinds of champs are still going to take down Atuma in 30 seconds, but they will lose 20 to 30% health. My Atuma's rank 5 Sig 200, so it's kind of a beast, and I don't have any Battlegrounds content to show you guys because anytime I got him, pretty much went straight on defense unless I was trying to completely experiment with something. But yeah, that was Captain Marvel down in I think a minute and a half, which is pretty solid. It's decent speed. I mean, it's not anything to write home about, but it's pretty cool. Next up, we have Venom the Duck in 6.4.1. This is to show you guys a Battlegrounds health pool style opponent. But back to why I think this dude's going to be insanely useful and valuable going forward. One, he's probably the best skilled defender in Battlegrounds currently, next to Korg. And I think Atuma has more dual use than Korg. I don't know if people are going to disagree with me on that, because Korg is pretty useless on Battlegrounds attack in my opinion, and questing content overall he's pretty useless, unless you max him out with synergies and stuff. But Atuma's fine all on his own, doesn't need any help with synergies. They help, but he doesn't need them at all the way Korg does. So that's another thing that I think is really good about Atuma. So I also think his ability accuracy reversal is going to be insanely useful going forward. If there's any annoying concussions, any annoying disorients, he ignores them, and it benefits him, and it ramps his abilities, and it makes things happen more often for him, which I think is really cool. And this is another thing I wanted to show you guys why I think he's going to be insanely useful. All his special attacks have use. His special 2 keeps his ramp going and allows you to ramp up further. His special 1 has true accuracy, and if you stack up enough, you can pretty much have near infinite uptime on true accuracy in your fights, which I think is really cool. And his passive true accuracy, which is also pretty cool. And his special 3, this is the big payoff in terms of damage. And you guys are gonna see how ridiculous he is. After I drop that special 3. So once you drop the first special 1 with Atuma, you pretty much just want to keep cycling special 2s unless you need true accuracy. If not, just cycle special 2s. Those cruelties will keep your your concussions paused, and you also will be gaining more hydration. So it allows you to just keep ramping and ramping and ramping and get to 99 concussions, which is his max. And yeah, it also allows him to gain the precision and all the cruelties, which will increase his damage. So yeah, now we are pretty much ready for our special 3. So our special 3, which I'm going to try to showcase in some more clips for not just being an endgame content, attack. The special 3 places bleeds on the opponent. And with Atuma's signature ability, his thorns damage that he deals while striking the opponent is absolutely magnified if there's a bleed present on either him or the opponent. So you guys will see here, Star-Lord has 2/3 health left. Just watch how much health he's losing as we hit him. This is nuts. Every single hit we're dealing is just dealing an insane amount of like bursts of physical damage from the thorns. So he's gonna be really useful going forward. That was like pretty close to 2 million health, I think. I could do the math if I wanted. We drop another special 3 here just because I didn't close out the fight the way I hoped it would, which made this fight drag on like an extra minute. So yeah, we throw the other special 1 here, and now we just go in and deal a bunch of damage as well. The only reason this special attack is not really useful in most content is because it requires you to ramp up and have enough concussions. You can't just go special 3 right out of the gate and then have this output. And rightfully so. I mean, that output's pretty insane. So we're going to go into Act 8, I believe this is. And this is one of the weapon nodes that we actually don't really interact with much. We allow it to give us a bunch of debuffs, and we use our heavy attack to purify these debuffs that he places on us. This is kind of like a double-edged sword because he's inflicting these armor breaks on us, and they obviously reduce our armor rating. So the chip damage is going to be pretty significant, but it's also, you know, worthwhile because we're just ramping here without any specials, which is really awesome for Attuma. He loves matches where he has non-damaging debuffs placed on him, so he can just purify them with his heavy attacks, and then once you build your special 3, you just drop it. I believe Ghost Rider is bleed immune, so instead of the crazy bursts, or the sig scaling with our, you know, Thorns damage, it's just going to be these massive physical vulnerabilities. So he's got, what, I think 16 of these? Sorry, it looks really small on my iPad screen, but you guys can see, since now we have the weapon node, it's just damage skyrocketed. So we're going to go against Captain Marvel here. She's not bleed immune, so you guys can see the you know, the bleed side of it, and then we'll have a Sentinel after this. So that's another reason why I think Attuma is so good. He's got on-demand Purify on his heavy attack, and granted, using your heavy attack to get a Purify is not always the best. You know, it's not as good as like Kingpin just doing it automatically. But once you get it ramped up enough, let's say she placed 50 debuffs on us, and we had like 20-something concussions. We'll be purifying more and more and more every single time we purify, as long as we have more concussions, which is the cool thing about him, because those increase the chance of which we do things. So now we've got these bleed debuffs on her, and now we just go in, start dealing a bunch of damage. We're trying to get her to throw this special too. Normally she's really aggressive and throws it, but she's just not. There she goes, and now we just close out the fight. I'm trying to get an intercept so I can, you know, steal the weapon, and we finally did, but the bleeds pretty much just ticked her out, and, you know, that's it. So really solid stuff. And then Sentinel, obviously bleed immune. He's a big robot. It'd be weird if he could bleed, so we're just going to build to our special 3 here, doing the same method we've been doing here. Kind of sucks that, you know, we're not really healing much because the heal block from the special burst lockdown, and then the chip damage we get, like right there, if we don't parry, we'll take a lot of damage through the block. So it's, you know, this whole node right here is just kind of a, you know, like I said earlier, a double-edged sword. But, you know, let's say there's like weaknesses or fatigue debuffs. You know, Attuma can purify those and not take as much chip damage. But we dropped special 3 here, and you know, Sentinel goes underwater. I love this special 3 animation. It's so cool. Speaking of fatigue debuffs, Ant-Man, the classic Ant-Man, Attuma is a great counter to him. He's actually the best counter on paper, because the glancing does not actually stop Attuma's abilities. It'll stop critical hits, but Attuma can't glance. Like, he can glance, but he can't have his abilities stopped. Right there, I had a long loading screen, so I zoomed in on his face. But then, while you strike Ant-Man while you're glancing, he places a bunch of non-damaging debuffs on you, and then you can just use a heavy attack to purify those. So it's just a great matchup overall, if anyone was curious. Next up we have Red Hulk here. This is another one of those weapon nodes, and it's been a while since I've actually done this. I believe this is Rust and Ruin. I wanted to show you guys more non-damaging debuffs, but like this was the only one I could think of. And a lot of the common skill nodes will just purify Attuma's concussions that he gets on his, he puts on himself, which, is kind of annoying. Because he loses a lot of his Thorns damage when he purifies those concussions. So now we drop the Special 2 here, because I figured you guys saw enough of that Special 3. I don't want to make you guys watch a bunch of Special 3 stuff. But, we eat a full 5-hit combo there. He's placing a bunch of armor breaks on us, so that's why the damage was just so nuts. But the main reason I didn't want to cut this out, and the main reason I kept it in, is so you guys can see, one, you can make mistakes with a champion and still be, still be okay. And then two, Attuma actually increases his regeneration rate. It starts at 20%, but based on hydration, it goes up. So this allows him to regenerate pretty decently with all his concussions that he places on himself. So if I don't make a bunch of mistakes throughout the rest of this, path that I'm showing off, we should actually be able to heal a decent amount and get back to where, not where we were, but close to where we were. So next up we've got Scarlet Witch here, and we put the weapon node on cooldown, I believe. No, the weapon node is, yeah, we put it on cooldown, so now we just need to try to steal it. I think it's with an intercept. But I don't think I'm trying too hard to actually get it. Like I just threw a Special 1 into her block there and lost a bunch of the progress we made with willpower healing, which, absolutely love to see it. So now we are getting this Special 2 from her. We just gotta wait for her to throw it. She finally throws it. We parry the first hit, and then you just dex both of the last 2 hits at once. So pretty solid stuff there. And now we get an intercept in there, drop the Special 2. It dealt some really solid damage there. She throws a Special 1. We go for the Striker here, and then I think we want to go for a heavy attack. Yep, and that will give us more concussions. We didn't have any of those, which is not good, which means our hydration, we can't purify those as much as we would have wanted to. And right there we took Power Sting, which is, just always amazing to see, right? So next up we have Captain Marvel, and this is going to be the fight where we regenerate the most. So this, you guys will see, like, he's pretty reliable in questing. Once you get him ramped, he's pretty much good to go. But at first he's got low block proficiency. His regen rate is pretty low, so he just takes a bit to get going. But once he's going, he's good. So we're just going to keep going here. I can't remember what the weapon nodes do here, but it's on cooldown. It's not like we have a weapon on ourselves. We don't want to push Captain Marvel to her Special 2 because, to be honest with you guys, I can't dex it. So we just want to avoid that. Keep her throwing that Special 1. It's easier to dex. The duration of it, it's a longer special, so it allows us to heal more. We just sit back, heal, and boom. So we drop another Special 1 here just to get more hydration so we can heal a bit more. Normally I go for the Special 2s, but I'm just throwing Special 1s here so we have maxed out hydration, which means we're at our highest in terms of regen rate. Something cool to know about Attuma is that he's immune to regen rate reversal past his lowest regen rate. I think that's the best way I can describe it. So he can have it increased, but if there's a decrease happening while he's increasing it, it can't go lower than his base regen rate, is what I'm trying to say. And that's a weird way of just saying, yeah, he can't have his regen rate lowered past a certain amount, which is easier to say, but we overthink here, over here. But yeah, go for the Special 1 here, close it out. But stuff like Petrify, if that's inflicted on him, doesn't really do much. It's just more debuffs for him to purify. This is the last lane that we go against here, and this is what's it called? True Lies. So your True Strike, True Accuracy abilities, they have less ability accuracy on them, but that actually like increases Attuma's ability accuracy on them, since he reverses the decrease and he counters the auto block here pretty well. So all three of these matches that I'm showing though are terrible matches for Attuma, and I'll explain why. Luke Cage, I believe he does extra damage or gains extra attack rating based on how much debuffs are on the opponent. So like looking at our debuffs right now, we have 7 concussions. Not an insane amount, but Luke Cage, his damage is going to ramp up if he hits us. So we don't exactly want that to happen to us. I'm trying to get these heavies down so I can purify this hydration. But right there, you guys saw, like, I took a decent amount of damage there. This one I actually had to take a couple tries. Like right there, that was stupid of me. Don't know why I ran into that special last of the special 2. But yeah, I think we go for the I think we should have went for the special 3 here if we're being honest. But special 2 is fine. Normally I like to play Attuma where you use the unstoppable as a counterpunch, but Luke Cage here, he's a menace, and he ramps up based on the amount of debuffs on the opponent, and Attuma places debuffs on himself, so we'll just take a lot of chip damage, and it's just not a great fight. But it is a good showcase on why he is cool for these lanes where they reduce ability accuracy, because he bypasses that. So next up we have America Chavez. He has nothing in his kit to counter America Chavez, therefore this is not a great matchup. Chavez is one of those defenders where you like really want to counter. You don't need a counter, but you want one. So yeah, that's like the main reason why this is a bad matchup. But it actually goes better than the Luke Cage fight went, surprisingly. So we're just going to try to ramp up here, get as many concussions as we can, and yeah, there is no Mystic Dispersion here, obviously, so I don't recommend doing this fight in like Battlegrounds, because Mystic Dispersion would just keep her throwing special 1s, and that's never a good time, because if she has any of her like unique dimensions up, it will allow her to gain power, and yeah, it's just she can spiral pretty quickly is what I'm trying to say, and I'm glad that we're doing this in story content and not actual like Battlegrounds. Right there, I could have just blocked the special 1 and then heavy countered it immediately since we're unstoppable, but I just wanted to play it safe. I knew I had my striker ready, so I could just get the free opening for my heavy that way. Luckily, America Chavez is not being annoying. She's just throwing special 1s, allowing me to do what I want to do. We have enough true accuracy up for the rest of the fight, so we just, need to get our special 2 off so we can pause these concussions. We do. We land a really solid special 2 there. She throws a special 1, and now we go in and just deal some damage. These are, I don't think we're really modified much like by the nodes. So a lot of these numbers that you're seeing from Attuma is just Attuma putting in work. And I know they're not like the most insane numbers, but like 7,000 basics and like 4,000 burst damage from the concussions, modifying our thorns damage that we deal back. It's pretty solid. I mean, I wouldn't just write that off. Not everyone's gonna deal like 20k medium attacks every single hit. And Attuma being a defender first, he's pretty solid. Right there, we just interrupt her heavy attack because we're unstoppable. And the last fight on this lane, I don't think I really need to say why this is a bad matchup. Hyperion has a bunch of power gain, and if you don't control his power, you need him to throw his specials. And what's one thing Hyperion doesn't like to do? Throw his specials. But we got lucky here, and he plays into us pretty well. Attuma's very much a tempo champion, so you really want the opponent playing into you and throwing their specials and being aggressive. But this fight does work out decently well. Get him to throw a special 2 there. We get our heavy off there, so we have more concussions. And now we just need this next special 1 off, and we get it. So now we have 5 true accuracies. So now we can just keep going for the striker here into a heavy attack to purify some hydration. We go for another heavy attack. Luckily he throws that special 2. He's getting close to that special 3 and he's just not throwing it. I'm just waiting for him to throw it, but he has not thrown it yet, which is good. And right there's like almost 10k medium attacks. It's pretty decent for a rank 5 considering we're like far from fully ramped. So yeah, we just keep going and keep chugging. And you know, whittle this dude down. I do think Attuma is a really solid questing champion, just due to his utility, and his playstyle is pretty good, and he's got constant willpower healing. So overall, I do think he's a really solid quester. Like, we entered this fight at like 50% health, got up to like 75 before Hyperion got to his special 3, and yeah, we just try to do as much damage as we can here. And we got him down to 11%, and Hyperion does Hyperion things, and he throws the special 3. So, based on that first hit, we know we're not dead, but we lost a decent amount of health there. So we just gotta close this fight out, and yeah, we're pretty much done with this fight right about here. So that's gonna do it for this video. If you guys enjoyed, let me know by hitting the like button and subscribing if you're new. I will see you guys for the next video or stream. Peace out, guys.